ready for this?
Porn.
Hi, I'm Kathryn.
And I'm Jacob.
And welcome to Wedding Possible.
Hi, welcome back to our channel. Happy to have you here. Today, we got something a little special. We get a pry open. Oops, that's the wrong way. Pry open. It's time to open the door behind this woman's head.
Yeah.
And how she plans everything.
I love to be organized.
And all the tools she uses so far that we've been using for planning. I'm pretty sure that this video will probably be updated, or maybe our Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. I don't know. What are we using?
I only have Instagram and a website.
No TikTok?
No TikTok.
Damn, old
Should we
person.
be on TikTok?
No, please don't.
Comment below. These are the tools that I've been using to start our wedding planning process. Some of them I use myself, and others we use together. So we're gonna dive right in right now. So as soon as you get engaged and it kind of settles the dust a little bit and you want to get right into the wedding planning process, the first thing you should do is set up a wedding email. And how do you do this? It's as simple as just going to Gmail and setting up a new Gmail account.
This will help so much because you'll have all your logins, all the websites that you have been signing into, any sort of correspondence to anyone that you're looking to talk to is all in one spot, rather than it being in Kathryn's email or my email or whoever's other email out there. It's just a good spot to have everything centrally located, so you can go back and look at all the things that you've been looking at, all the people you've been talking to, and any important dates that you might have that you might want to put on that calendar as well.
So after you set up your wedding email, you also have access to Google Drive. So Google Drive is a really handy tool. Not only can you organize all of the documents that you have, but you can also add photos, you can add anything that would take up space that you need in a centrally located location. So Google Drive is great because you can upload or even create spreadsheets on there, and this will go into a video about budget, but I created a bunch of spreadsheets on there using Google Drive. And they also have the equivalent of Microsoft Word, and you can create Word docs as well. So I think it's a great spot to keep everything, especially another thing you can add on there are any downloadables that you get from any websites. So you're gonna go on wedding blogs, as you do, and they're gonna offer a bunch of free downloads. So you can go into like checklists or timelines, things like that. And so those things you can download and also upload back onto your Google Drive for easy access later.
It might not look like it, but I'm a Pinterest guy myself. I like to, before I even met this beautiful lady, I had a few Pinterest boards going on about what I would like for a wedding. It's always been on my mind. I think a lot of the stuff that I'm influenced by is movies, and I always see really cool weddings for movies, and I'm all about the cool factor. But I was pretty excited to show Kathryn the Pinterest boards that I had, and when we were trying to get back to my login information, unfortunately it wasn't there anymore. I couldn't figure out what my login information was, but that's okay, because what we actually sat down and did was I told her to create 3 Pinterest boards for 3 of her dream weddings, and I would create 3 Pinterest boards for 3 of my dream weddings. Each Pinterest board would have a theme, and then we would just put different photos into each one, and then we actually got together to showcase what we each liked and what we didn't. And that's how we were able to really pinpoint, okay, so I like what you did on this, and this is what I like, and we kind of mix it together so it's both uniquely our own. So Pinterest is a great tool to have where it can involve both parties and really be interactive and really try to figure out what each other likes and what each other expects out of the wedding. It's just your wedding vision. It's what you two, just like how you're gonna get married, 2 people mixing together. It's your 2 ideas and your 2 Pinterest boards pushing in together and making another little baby Pinterest board that grows up to be a beautiful wedding.
That's true. Nice. Another thing that I think is really helpful to look into are Facebook groups. So there are a lot of wedding inspired or wedding themed Facebook groups. So you have to request to join, but usually they'll let you in without a problem. Maybe have to answer a couple questions in order to let you in, but it's not a big deal, nothing crazy. So once you're in there, I've noticed that it's just a plethora of information. It's like cha-ching. Like, people talk about everything wedding related that you can think of. So the cool thing about these Facebook groups is that a lot of these people want to help each other, and it's strangers in this group, but they want to go out of their way to give you suggestions or recommendations. And I think that's the coolest thing. Even though you've never met this person, they're more than willing to help, which I think everyone being in the same boat is a wonderful thing, because you just never know who you're going to impact and be able to help. So I think it's a great attitude. And plus, you get a lot of good ideas from that. Like, people are constantly posting pictures about what they've done, how they've done something, who they've hired, venues, vendors that they've used or recommend. It's really, really helpful. So if you have the opportunity to join one of those groups, I highly recommend it.
And this is how you're starting to find a lot of other things as well. The dresses, no?
Yeah, people post dress examples. And yeah, actually there's a place that I've found that it's in my price range, and so I'm gonna go check it out. Yeah, no, there's been a lot of suggestions for good places to check out dresses. There's been anything you could ask for: shoes, jewelry, venues, gifts. I posted something about finding a silicone ring. People post their proposal photos all the time. It's just endless. But you can get so many ideas, and so I think that's one of my favorite tools. So if you're using Facebook and Instagram, you know that they're owned by the same company. So they have this feature that you can bookmark photos and videos. It's become this nice tool because I feel like Instagram is very visual, and so it's really nice to be able to save examples of pictures that you find really nice, things that kind of might fit in your theme, because you might not find those things on Pinterest. It's a lot more real people posting things, as well as maybe some photo shoots that are styled shoots, but still, at least there's a lot of different variety on there, and it's a lot easier to find accounts that are similar. So I think you can follow a bunch of accounts where you can find more pictures that you'll find interesting. So the next one is probably one of my favorite ones. So before I even got engaged, I started looking into wedding stuff. I knew the moment was coming, but I didn't know when. But I started doing my research in terms of tools on what was easy to buy, and so by the time I did get engaged, I could just hop right in. So one of those things was the Budget Savvy planner, and this I thought would be a good milestone to start using. This book covers everything that you would need to plan your wedding from what I saw online, and then actually using the book. I think it's a good starting place. I didn't like the fact that there's not a lot of spots to write notes next to things, but you know, no matter what, there's always going to be something you don't like. But I think in terms of a starting place, it's a great example, and it's really affordable. So as you can see, I've started to use this book quite a bit. So it's nice because I scribble my notes in here, but it's not exactly my style, but it's been a good help so far. So my maid of honor bought me a planner, and I love planners in general. I get a new one every year, and it has to have a big section for notes. So my maid of honor got me this planner, which I really like, and it has it broken down by month. For example, by a month. And then it also has it broken down weekly. So I think it's a good thing to have a planner like this, because then you can keep track of all of your meetings and appointments. And then any things that you would need to keep track of, like deposits, you can take all your notes and write them when things are due. It kind of just maps it all out. So my newest thing, I literally just put this together, is my wedding binder. I was so excited because it's back to school time, and so all this stuff's on sale right now. But basically all you can do is you can start to put stuff together as you accumulate things. I have a little cute pencil pouch. Cute to me, I guess. Place for business cards. I ordered some swatches for dresses, postcards for things, But basically it's a nice way to stay organized, and you can create tabs for all the different categories of things. So for me, it was important because it allowed me a lot to add space it allowed me to add space for notes. And I had an old binder with binder paper, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna add to it. I'm not in school. Haven't been in school for quite some time at this point, but binder paper has a lot of lines, so I can write a lot of notes. So it works out really well. But as you guys know, there's planners that you can do online. There's a bunch of apps that you can use, like the Knot, I know is really popular, Wedding Wire. I think those are the top two. Zola recently came out, but I don't know if that's so much a planning app. I have to do more research. We'll probably do more of that in another video.
To me, the Knot's just another tool. Is it necessary? No. Is it gonna make or break your wedding? Definitely not. But it's nice to have. It's nice so that everything's just on one web page. You can have your guest list there. You can move around your guest list, remove people, add people without really any effort.
Yeah, and they have a lot of things on there like timelines, a lot of articles, some search functionality to try to find vendors and venues. So there's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of websites in general that'll have these features, but I still like the art of handwriting. Like, that's just my thing I go back to every single time.
A little bit of a Jacob tangent here, but before the whole COVID thing, Kathryn and I were very busy, separated from each other. I mean, not even together, we're pretty busy, but separated. We had a lot of things to go do, a lot of people to go see. And for me, it was really hard to keep track of when Kathryn would tell me, hey, I'm gonna go do this something in 3 weeks, and 3 weeks show up, and I'm like, where did she go? Where are you going?
Or you didn't tell me.
Yeah, exactly. So
I did.
out of necessity, I started looking to see if I can find a shared calendar that allowed us to make multiple groups for different things, but also add and remove pretty easily on our phone. Mostly because that's pretty much what we have all the time, right? It's just our phone. We started using the time tree to set up appointments for ourselves, to our daily lives, but then we also started using it for wedding stuff, such as, you know, conversations we're gonna have with photographers, with food vendors, or with venues. We started adding that to the list and having that on there so that we can stay organized ourselves, especially during this time when there's a lot of different meetings that you're gonna have, whether it's Skype or even going there to talk to the person. It's still keeping track of that. Time tree, I don't know if it's on iOS, but it's definitely on Android, or the Google Play Store, excuse me. And it's free. You don't have to pay anything, which is free is the best type of spending. And try it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, I really like it. You can put notes in there. You can color code, which I think is really cool. That's a huge thing. I like color coding in general. And so you can pick, you know, say it's for an event, then you can color code it purple. Or if it's a doctor's appointment, you can color code it green, or however you feel. So it's pretty nice because when you're looking at your calendar, you see all these colors, you know what they mean. Not even just that you have an appointment. So it's kind of nice, especially for reoccurring appointments. So it's pretty cool.
Exactly. You can also, the great thing about that too is you can add notes to it. So if there's something in particular you needed to note down for that meeting, you can note it down in there quick if you like as well.
Yeah, as well as adding like the address. So then you can just click on the address and it'll pop up Google Maps, and then you could just drive to wherever you needed to go. So I highly recommend it. He highly recommends it. Just look into it. We're not sponsored, but we really like it. One of the most obvious tools that I think is a huge asset to helping you plan your wedding is YouTube. And YouTube, as you might know, is the second largest search engine next to Google itself. So a lot of people use YouTube, and people are always typing in things. So for me, when I started looking at videos related to wedding planning, I could type in whatever I wanted and something would come up. And you'll find us on there too, obviously. But I think it's great because there are so many different types of resources, and a lot of the information's free. So you can get a lot of information, and it's from real people. So whether they're trying to sell you something or not, it's still something that you can learn, and it's an opportunity. So one of the things that we did initially, even before we got engaged, we found this show on there, and it was from a Canadian channel, and it had to do with wedding planning, and it's called Rich Bride, Poor Bride. I really wanted to say Poor Bride, Poor Bride. But but it's called Rich Bride, Poor Bride. And it was a reality TV show in the early 2000s through the late 2000s that had to do with couples coming together and planning their wedding with a wedding planner. And so they did their budget meetings and they went and spent what they spent and then came back and you got to see whether they were under budget or over budget.
What we actually spent was $37,714.
Putting us over budget by $7,714.
Honey, I budgeted for $40,000. We're under.
You're not handling our checkbooks.
And so that was very telling for us. So I thought that was a really good starting place in terms of coming up with a budget.
Which, by the way, you can see in our other video there, part 1, and there, part 2. I think. I don't know. It's there. It's down there. But yeah. And we'll also link Rich Bride, Poor Bride as well, in case you guys need something to do and kind of laugh at the awful clothing that people wore back then.
And the styles of the table overlays.
Yeah.
It was like browns and pinks were rampant.
And so you could put an overlay on top of this?
Oh, you can, yes.
Oh, okay. Can we try that?
We can do anything you want.
You got it, Mary. Oh, look at that. It's not too girly, like.
Okay, so if we went with the chargers with the double napkin and the bow, you're probably looking around $3,000 for everything.
It was so bad. Get ready for your frosted tips, your wraparound sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
And
just
a lot of
why-
your Abercrombie and Fitch clothing.
No, just like the style choices were just not good. It's like it was like mismatched colors.
Okay, what's next? Besides typical texting, which we all text, we also highly recommend, if you're doing a lot of stuff with business, to either start using WhatsApp or even Facebook Messenger if the person that you're talking to has Facebook Messenger. To me, it's just easier than text, because with me texting, I get text quite a bit and I tend to not reply to people because of the amount of text I do get, and I just forget. But when it comes to like Facebook Messenger in particular, it pops up and it's there in your face and you have to see it. You have to physically move it away for you not to see it.
No, it's just a good way to organize information. So if it's a conversation related to specifically wedding stuff, so I have one I created called Wedding Things and Engagement Rings. Yeah, it was cute. So I started a group just to be able to start sending photos back and forth, seeing if people liked it or didn't like it. And I also created a WhatsApp group for my bridesmaids. So if you have a bridal party, I think this is a great way to do this, especially if you're not in the same city. 3 of my bridesmaids are in Northern California and I live in Southern California. So the only way that we can really communicate is either over WhatsApp or like through Facebook. And so at this point, that's what we're doing to communicate ideas. And I think it's working out. I think when you do the same thing with your groomsmen, it would just be a nice way to keep everything wedding related in one spot, so then you don't have to chase text messages and
It's
whatever.
pretty easy. I just called them up and said, hey, you're in my wedding party.
And you guys don't talk about anything else? Really?
No.
No.
Besides maybe on Discord when we were playing video games with each other.
See, that's just not
That's
what
the
we
only
do.
thing I can think of.
That's not what we do.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know.
Once again, as always, thank you for joining us and hearing out some of the favorite tools that Kathryn and I like to use together, mostly Kathryn, like to use for planning the wedding.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have an idea for another video, comment below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos, subscribe to this channel. And if you want to get notified when we post a new video, hit that little bell. And I want to encourage you, if you're engaged, congratulations, and enjoy the wedding process. Hopefully with these tools, you'll be able to get a good start.
And if you like as well, please go and follow our Instagram. And if you have any questions or just want to pop by and say hi, please go on ahead. We're always happy to talk to people, especially me. I love talking and meeting new people. And as always, is it possible? Wedding possible.
Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ooh.
Okay.
Let's do this hyperdrive.
All right.
Must I try my mouth?
Okay.
I already know this. Don't.
I know where you're going with that. Splash.
No, it's more like a bloop.
Like a poop.
God damn it.
All right, here we go. These are my top tools that I've been using in order to. Don't laugh at me. Gotta get spunky.
That was so funny.
Why?
It sounded really funny.
So these are. I don't want to say so. These are my. Today we're gonna cover 12 of the top tools I use. Top tools.
I know, you said it weird.
Ugh.
Top tools.
Top tools.
Top tools.
All right. These are the tools that I've been using. No, I have 12. These are the top. No, I don't want to do top.
What do you think?
I don't know.
There's 12 items. You didn't have a top 12? Those are all your items?
Yeah, they are. All right.
Here's a list that Kathryn uses.
No. So leading into the next point, calendars. So Google does have a calendar that you can use, but I think Jacob and I have a better idea. We use an app called... Okay.
I've never heard that laugh before.
I don't know. They're a Pokemon ball.
You want to be a master Pokemon?
All right.
We all live
Yeah,
in a Pokemon world. Pokemon. We all live.
Yeah, Pokemon, we're Pokemon.
We all live in a wedding boutique world. Wedding boutique.
If you like this video,
Wait, hold on, I'm having a weird face.
oh, let me know when you're ready.
Go.
For everything?
$3,000, Terry.
What's wrong with that?
That's $3,000 more than we need to spend on this stuff. The venue includes this stuff.
They don't have any of this stuff, and this is what I want.
And what are we supposed to do with the stuff after? Who are we gonna sell it to?
I'm not selling it, it's to rent.
To rent them.
What, you think that we were buying them?
$3,000, I better be keeping them.
But as always, is it possible? Wedding possible.
What impossible?
It is all. It is blue.
Oh, wow.
She's a babe. Swing. Audi. And end scene. Done. Done.
That was pretty good.